Yo, Saf back once again, just like yourself. I appreciate you for being here. This is the Talk and Play Blurred cast, just in case you forgot. I'm your host, and if you read the title for this episode, then you already know the watch list. We're doing TV. Now I'm looking over my notes or whatever. This might not be such a long episode. We got a few things in the previews, which are some trailers that caught my attention. I want to, chat with y'all about real quick. Headlines kind of packed out, but not in a terrible way. We got some good and bad news, but it's going to be dope. Reviews, Abbott Elementary Season 1, Bel-Air Season 1, Bust Down on Peacock, Woke on Hulu. That's going to be fun. And for what I've continued to watch, we got the Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. Can't wait to get into that. Moon Knight, very, very excited to get into that. And that's about it. So let me just go ahead and play my theme music real quick, and then we're gonna jump right into the watch list, get all this TV talk out the way, so we can continue to enjoy the TV. But real quick before we do that, I do want to send a happy belated 420 to all my people who 420. You know what time it is. I was going to do something on the Blurred cast to celebrate 420, but 420 rolled up on me before I rolled up on it. So I ain't necessarily get to record what I wanted to record, but still, it's a holiday to me. So shout out to all the 420 people out there, all my 420 blurs. We lit. And if you really about that 420 life like myself, then you know it's 420 every day. So let's go. Let's start the episode. All right. So, theme music out the way. Y'all know what we talking about. Let's go ahead and jump into the previews, which if you do or don't remember, or if you're just new to the podcast, previews is where, I give a quick little rundown of some trailers that have caught my attention, whether it be, TV series or movies or whatever the case might be. Starting with Tekken. Tekken is getting an anime for Netflix. The trailer looks super, super dope. I really, really like the art and, animation style that they've chosen to illustrate this legendary game. I'm ready to see some entertaining matchups. If you're a Tekken player, certain characters or whatever, they have story and lore and all kind of background to them that kind of intersect with one another. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. Like, the trailer looks good as fuck. I really like all the action and all that shit. The subtitle for this particular series is Bloodline, so I'm assuming that each season we're gonna delve into origin story for each characters. Based on the trailer though, it looked like they focusing on Jin right now. It just looked dope though. I'm excited. I haven't played Tekken in forever, but like I said, legendary fighting game. I'm glad to see it being turned into a series or an animated series once again. I get to enjoy it. I'm not going to be one of those people that are canceling my Netflix account. I know they raising the price and not really coming through with the content as much, but it still be some good shit on there. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna hold down the fort over here with my Netflix password and all this other shit right here, and hopefully be able to continue to report to you guys with some interesting at least interesting stuff from Netflix. I covered a bunch of stuff from Netflix on this podcast, so I don't know, I feel like it's a good investment. I'm gonna keep fucking with it. Outside of that though, look, another Netflix show, Stranger Things 4. We got the trailer for the 4th chapter or season 4 or whatever the fuck you want to call it. Me and my dog Webster Style for the NRW Checkpoint. That's my other show that I do over on the Nerds Rule the World YouTube channel. We actually did a quick reaction to the trailer, and based on what I saw, I need to go back and rewatch Stranger Things, which I was planning on doing that anyway because, since pandemic happened and shit like that, a lot of shows got pushed back and a lot of time has elapsed in between all of these particular seasons or whatever. So I'd already planned on going back and starting over and just watching from the beginning to make sure I'm understanding what's happening in season 4. But I definitely got to do it now because that trailer looks fire. Like, I'm really excited to see what, where the kids go on their journey and going into the Upside Down and seeing what the fuck going on over there, what new antagonist is going to be for this particular chapter. Like, the whole trailer itself just made me really, really want to get back into it, like from the beginning, just to make sure I understand everything that's going on and what's happening. I really, really like the whole, I don't know what you call it, design of Stranger Things. Like, it gives me like Back to the Future vibes, like that time period, that era of history, but like with today's, level of cinematography and technology and shit like that. Like, I feel like if Back to the Future came out today, it would look a lot like Stranger Things. But that's beside the point. The trailer looks fucking fire. Can't wait for motherfucking chapter 4 or season 4 or just Stranger Things 4, whatever the fuck they call it, to go ahead and drop. But I definitely need to rewatch the first 3 seasons to catch up because, yeah, I pretty much forgot everything that's happened on the show so far. And I mean, that ain't necessarily a bad thing because it's right there for me to just watch. But it's like, damn, what I'm saying? I'm looking at the trailer like, oh, okay, I do remember that, but then I don't. So I'm going to be back on Stranger Things. And then when that shit drops, we'll definitely be covering it on the Talk and Play Blurredcast with me, your host, Brian. That's it for the previews, though. Let's go ahead, move over into the headlines. Now, the headlines, just to refresh you, pretty much everything going on, or not everything because it's a lot going on, but the shit that caught my attention in the entertainment world as far as, film and television and shit like that, right? First on the list, something I'm not happy about at all. I thought we was gonna get a season 2. They telling me it's not fucking happening. I don't like that shit. That's WandaVision. Yes, WandaVision, the very first Marvel Disney Plus original series that got everybody like just hype for everything that Marvel is doing with Disney. Like, I know at least for me, I was weary of Marvel being bought by Disney. I was like, damn, they gonna make it too childish. But I had faith in Marvel, and my faith was not let down because WandaVision turned out to be an amazing show. It was an amazing show to kick off the current phase of the MCU, which phase 4, I believe that's where we at. But despite how amazing WandaVision was, or in spite, either word, of how amazing WandaVision was, and despite or in spite of the spinoff that we're supposed to be getting from WandaVision, the Agatha Harkness TV series or Disney Plus limited series, whatever they're gonna title it as. It's Agatha Harkness, which was the villain from WandaVision. She did so good in her role. I'm talking about Catherine Hahn. They was like, yeah, let's spin the block on Agatha and give her own series and really explain to everybody what's going on with the character and how she came to be in opposition to Wanda and shit like that. Like, Agatha's getting her own series, and I'm excited for that. But WandaVision Season 2 not happening. This was confirmed by Moon Knight director Mohamed Diab. I think I said that right. Diab. I think I said it right. Either way, he confirmed WandaVision Season 2 is not happening, and I'm not fucking with that. Also, moving along because, like I said, little upset about that. Across the Spider-Verse, which is the highly anticipated sequel to Into the Spider-Verse, where we got to meet Miles Morales on screen for the first time, and Spider-Gwen, and all of those other Spider-Men that came across the Spider-Verse to kick it with Miles, help him defeat the enemy in that particular movie. Prowler? Yes, I think it was Prowler. Either way, Across the Spider-Verse has been pushed back from October 7th of this year to June 2nd of 2023. Why? I'm not entirely sure. But I did notice that the part 1 from this particular movie, like the subtitle, because it's supposed to be Across the Spider-Verse part 1 and part 2. They took away the part 1 shit or whatever, but they confirmed that it's still going to be a 2-part like Spider-Verse event. So I'm assuming they're just gonna subtitle it something else. I don't know. Either way, I find it interesting that this release date of June 2nd, 2023 is a few weeks before Madam Web, which I should probably cover that some other time in the watch list, but if I haven't, Madam Web is getting her own movie as well, and it's supposed to come out shortly after Across the Spider-Verse. I'm wondering, is this because, this particular movie that is going to star Madam Web or whatever, or it's going to explore Madam Web, is it like an origin movie that like somewhat continues some events that happened across the Spider-Verse, or like gives context to them or whatever? Like, I don't know. There's some kind of thing happening there with Sony / Marvel, because that's who is doing all of this. The Marvel partnership with Sony has led to this pushback and Across the Spider-Verse and Madam Web and all this shit like that. And I'm wondering if it has anything to do with the fact that, of course, Madam Web is going to play somewhat of an integral role in the Across the Spider-Verse like 2-part event or whatever. Because if you know anything about the Spider-Man universe, Madam Web is like the seer and the watcher, the overall supreme being over the whole Spider-Verse shit. Like, she's watching all of this shit from her floating chair somewhere in Spider-Verse land or space or whatever the fuck. And she's supposed to guide the different Spider-Man in their different universes to, stay on their correct path as Spider-Man or whatever, especially when they start jumping universes and shit. So I'm wondering, right, with this movie being pushed back to a few weeks before Madam Web comes out, will this have some kind of like effect on one another, where it's like we get part of a grander story in Across the Spider-Verse part 1, Madam Web kind of gives us some context as well as pushes the story forward a little bit, and then when Spider-Verse 2 comes out, which is supposed to be within a year of Across the Spider-Verse 1, then we'll get a continuation of both stories and we'll understand like what's going on. I don't know. Either way, I'm excited for both. Madam Web is a Spider-Man character that I feel like should have got screen time, like from the very first Into the Spider-Verse movie. Like, she should have been somewhere in there, at least letting her presence be known, because that's her whole thing, like protecting the different Spider-Verses and the different Spider-Men, women, pigs, and all kind of shit that travel in between those different Spider-Verses and help each other out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? It's definitely got me excited for both movies, with them being in close proximity to one another as far as release schedules is concerned. So we'll see what's going on with that. But I was really looking forward to Across the Spider-Verse. So it being pushed back, 6 months or so? Like, what is that? Yeah, like 6, 7, 8 months or so. Like, they really fucking me up with that. But it is what it is. As long as Black Panther is still coming out in fucking November after it's already been pushed back. Anyway, next in the headlines, not so pleasant news. Viola Davis is getting like very heavily criticized over her acting as Michelle Obama in this Showtime original anthology series titled The First Lady. I don't know if any of y'all have heard of it. If I'm being real, I have not watched anything on Showtime in a long time. And the only reason it really came across, my timeline or whatever the case is because I follow Viola Davis and Michelle Obama. And then, of course, they was promoting their shit. So when I seen that, like, this is happening or whatever, initially I was excited for it. And I was trying to figure out if I had Showtime still to like log in and check it out. First episode came out, Easter Sunday. And ever since it dropped, social media, critics, everybody from inside the industry, consumer wise, all of that. Like everybody's just been saying her performance of Michelle is not the greatest, which, that's Viola Davis now. We got Oscars over there with Viola. I believe she got some Emmys and shit too. Like very, very highly decorated, very, very talented black actress. But apparently they don't like the facial expression she making when she is portraying Michelle Obama. They feel like she kind of mocking her a little bit. And to everybody's credit or whatever, just watching the trailer and watching the faces that she like made or whatever, I get it because I've seen Michelle Obama make some of those same faces in like her interviews or whatever. But I don't know, it does seem, at least from what I gathered in the trailer, because remember, I have not seen 1 second of this actual programming, but from what I gathered in the trailer, it does look like she like overdoing it with the facial expressions a little bit. I don't know. I'll be the judge for myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to check out, the first episode or two or whatever the case might be. Give it a chance. I like anthology series or whatever. The show has a unique premise, one that I'm finding to be pretty interesting. It pretty much follows a bunch of first ladies, really the ones, I guess, who have made like a big impact on the White House in their time as the first lady when their husbands were being, their presidents and shit. There's a portrayal of Barack on there. I think Franklin Roosevelt's wife also makes an appearance as like, because it's an anthology series, so they kind of jump back and forth between these different first ladies and their time in office, no matter what year it is. So I don't know. Seems interesting. I tend to kind of fuck with like political shows, whatever. House of Cards was one of my favorite shows on Netflix for a minute. So I'm gonna check it out. But if I watch this show and I completely agree with everything that everybody is saying about Viola Davis and her portrayal of Michelle Obama, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to finish it out. They said Barack's portrayal, whoever the gentleman is portraying him, ain't doing that great either. But these are critics. This is the social media era. Everybody wants to have an opinion right now, right quick, really fast, as things are happening. Who knows? The shit might get better. The storyline might be good enough to say, fuck all of that. I like what they're talking about. So we'll see. But yeah, man. I seen based on the trailer, like I see what people talking about. So we'll see. Moving along back to Marvel and Disney Plus. Nova. A Nova project is reportedly in development by the Moon Knight writer Sabir Pirzada. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I hope so. Either way, he confirmed that he is working on Nova, which is obviously another Marvel hero, whatever that kind of, I don't know. Nova is kind of like Green Lantern, but like Marvel version. And the reason I'm saying that is because like the Green Lantern Corps, when it comes to DC, they're pretty much like the space police. They police all of space and the universes or whatever the case. They police that shit. They just make sure ain't no aliens coming from one planet to another planet that definitely can't fight them. They make sure ain't nobody committing genocide across the motherfucking galaxy and shit like that. Like they are literally space police. Same thing with the Nova Corps and this superhero Nova that is a member of the Nova Corps or whatever. More on that when the show premieres. There's no word yet if it'll be a movie or a limited Disney Plus series or whatever, but something is in development as far as the character is concerned. Like I said, one of the writers from Moon Knight is on the project. He already confirmed it. So I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. Nova has always been an interesting character to me. And then on top of that, you know what I'm saying, it's Marvel. I'm always down for Marvel introducing a hero to us through the MCU and really like giving it that full movie treatment or limited series treatment or whatever the case is going to be. I'm just ready for new Marvel content because they don't miss. They've been hitting shit out the park, if you ask me. But finally in the headlines, hopefully the last Will Smith update, because I'm like over talking about this shit. The industry, everybody is completely overreacting to this shit at this point. Like, it's too much. Will has resigned from the Academy, which sucks because, you know what I'm saying, his resignation means that there will be one less black vote in those, you know, heavily white populated rooms making decisions on, you know, entertainment and content that might not necessarily speak to them in a way that it will speak to a black person. Like, y'all know what I'm getting at. Like, we're gonna have one less vote for our content in these rooms because Will Smith is not gonna be there anymore. But outside of that, the Oscars has banned him from all of their functions and activity. A 10-year ban, very excessive to me. I don't get why, but it is what it is. He has been banned for 10 years. And Jada has come out and said, you know, she'll address it on the red table when she get around to it, but they already got this season filmed and she's not in the mood to do any impromptu interviews with anybody. So we'll see what happens. It'll probably cool down a whole lot, and then out of nowhere, we'll get a red table talk announcement. It'll be Will, Jada, and Chris Rock all sitting down, trying to discuss things and laughing. That's, you know, three rich ass black people who are being overly analyzed and scrutinized by their white counterparts. And it's going to be an entertaining red table talk. But we'll wait on that. We'll see what's going on when it's going on. Only reason I'm really reporting on this right now is because some recent news has come out outside of Jada talking about, you know, we'll get to it when we get to it. Recent news has come out that Will's movie offers are flooding in. Like, he's not being discriminated against or blackballed against. Like, you know what I'm saying? We kind of thought that would come along with that because, you know, so much influence and power comes from the people that are making these decisions about him being banned and shit. So, you know, we would assume a 10-year ban means, oh, he's going to get blackballed from the industry. That's not the case. It's being reported that his movie offers have been flooding in because Hollywood really loves a redemption story and they want to be a part of Will Smith's, which makes sense to me. That Hollywood wants to rally behind Will and everything that he is going to do to prove to the entire world and the industry that he's human. He's allowed to have or make a mistake and have feelings about it. And none of that is going to take away from how talented he is and how much money he can bring into a box office. So I'm not surprised, but at the same time, I'm happy because I'm like, yes, they've been really trying to cancel my dog over this dumbass slap or whatever. We see how Chris Rock is handling it. He don't want to talk about it until he getting paid. He briefly, you know what I'm saying, sprinkling in little comedic remarks about it within his comedy show because he's on tour right now. Like, if they play this right, this could be a come up for everybody. Well, not necessarily a come up because they already rich as fuck. So maybe more like a win for everybody because I definitely see the headlines about Chris Rock's sales going up. He charging more for his tickets and the bitches is selling out. So that's money on there. You know what I'm saying? He's making light of it, making little jokes, like I said, here and there, sprinkled into his, routine or whatever. He's probably gonna get more into that. Like I said, as things cool down, maybe around Red Table Talk time. We'll see. We'll see. Like, there's a lot that can be done here, even though, we still got a bunch of people online acting like what Will did was so grotesque and deplorable and just something that he should be punished for the rest of his life. I'm just saying that because it's really ironic. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have a minor instance of violence here, and the most violent people of all time decide they want to blow this into a 10-year ban and all kind of think pieces, and people who are supposed to be hosting, Amy Schumer and some other, white people that had the nerve to speak out as if they were the ones that were slapped and talk about how traumatized they were because they didn't get, therapy from whatever violent situation that happened to them. I don't know what the case is, why they felt attacked by Will Smith when he don't even speak these people's names, but it is what it is. Praying for Will and Jada. I wish more of the black community would be behind Will, but I understand that because Will and Jada do not live a lifestyle as far as their marriage is concerned that a lot of black people approve of, that they like, nah, fuck that. We on the other side. He deserved to be punished or whatever, which is bullshit. I'll never understand the obsession of people being concerned with what people do in the privacy of their own homes with their genitals and their life and all the other shit. But that's black people for you. We really do let shit that's none of our business decide how we feel about somebody. It's things that we shouldn't care about unless we want to be a part. But it is what it is. Maybe more on that later. Maybe I'll do like a thinking out loud about that, because I'm really like confused. Like, why all this hate for Will and Jada? Because they are doing something with their marriage that they want to do. They okay with it being open and them doing whatever they want to do with whoever they want to do it with, as long as they stay married. Like, they are okay with that. They've expressed it multiple times. Will, Jada, both agree there has been no infidelity. They're in an open marriage or whatever the case their situation is set up under. That's what they're doing. Why does it bother people, specifically black men? I don't really see too many women complaining about it. Black men, though, they've been blaming Jada. They've been blaming Jada. They don't like the Tupac shit. They don't like the entanglement shit. They don't like that Willow and Jaden, are openly expressive about the fact that they also enjoyed Tupac's presence. I don't know, like, it's weird. I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why these things are causing black people to turn on the Smiths, or I should say a certain section of black people, because I don't give a fuck. I'm still gonna support the whole Smith family in whatever way I can. Bel-Air is fire. We getting ready to talk about that in the reviews. Will Smith is still one of my favorite actors of all time. Jada Pinkett Smith is still fine. She's still fire, bald head or not. She is a beautiful black woman. Like, Jaden and Willow are amazing kids, like amazing people at that. Trey, he don't never say shit. He just be minding his own business. He speak when spoken to, and other than that, he in his own world. Like, I fuck with the Smiths. Fuck all this Academy Oscar bullshit or whatever, and all this fake outrage over something that everybody understands why it happens. See, I'm talking too much about it. Let's move on. Let's jump into the reviews, because I'm done. Starting with Abbott Elementary, man. Round of applause. You know what? Round of applause for goddamn Abbott. Maybe I could put in some applause sound bites or some sound effects. I don't know. But y'all heard the hand claps. Round of a goddamn applause for Abbott Elementary, brother. Received a perfect 100% on Rotten Tomato, which, you know what I'm saying, we shouldn't really give a fuck about what film and TV critics have to say about, film and television, especially when it comes to like black film and television. But that's still a big deal. You got 100% on Rotten Tomato. Like, people don't get that freshly ass score like that. It's not very often, but they got it. You know what I'm saying? The show is amazing for so many fucking reasons. I love that they shedding light on what's going on in like these public school systems, but not making it a point to be like preachy or what's the word? Like activist heavy, I guess. I don't know what the word is, but I really like that they just like shedding the light on what's going on with the public school system, but they're not being like heavy handed about it. It's like, this is what's happening. We having fun with it. We making light of the situation in a feel good way. And these things are real, even though this scenario, this entire show is scripted. This is stuff that like happens or whatever. And it's really dope. It's dope seeing, all the teachers interact with the kids, and it's funny seeing the teachers interact with each other and the different storylines and friendships there and shit like that. Like, it's a really good show, man. If you haven't watched Abbott Elementary by now, like, you cheating yourself out of good TV. You can stream it on Hulu. The entire season is already there. When it was premiering weekly, the very next day, or not even the very next day, a couple hours into the next day, like 3 a.m. The episodes were available for you to watch. Fantastic show. Quinta Brunson, who is not only the creator of this show and head writer, but she's also the lead actress, Janine. She did an interview with Charlamagne the God for Hollywood Reporter. That shit was really good. I liked all of the talking points that those two, discussed and expounded on. If you're interested in hearing that and how Quinta doesn't necessarily want to be some revolutionary for like change in the teacher educational field, but just wants to make stuff that she enjoys, then definitely head over to YouTube. Look for that Quinta Brunson, Charlamagne the God, Hollywood Reporter interview and check that out. Season 1 was really good. The finale was also really good. I'm glad Janine broke up with her boyfriend, even though that nigga was funny as fuck. Like, it's gonna be, I don't know, it's gonna be a little hard going into season 2 knowing that they not together and like not being able to see this funny ass character or whatever, but I'm glad it happened. All we got to do now is get Everybody Hates Chris or what's his Greg. His name is Greg. We just got to get Greg away from Shirley Ralph's daughter. What's her name in the show also? Let me ask Google. Oh, Barbara. That's right. We just got to get Greg away from Barbara's daughter. So, Janine can, get in there and do her thug, get in there and steal that nigga real quick so they can start, dating and whatnot. Like, we know it's an attraction there. Let's get it going. Outside of that though, man, the show is hilarious. Fucking watch it. That's all I'm gonna say. Just go watch it and enjoy it on Hulu right fucking now. Also, we ain't talked about Bel-Air since my last watch list, so let's go ahead and get into that. Season 1 wrapped, fire, great season finale, if you asking me. Well, maybe it wasn't like all those greats, but I really just liked it because Will was cussing his daddy the fuck out. I mean, you should have seen it by now. If you haven't, that's your bad. Spoilers. Will's father turned out to be played by, well, you know what? I ain't even gonna do that. If you seen it, you seen it. If you haven't, I'm gonna let the surprise be the surprise for when your ass decide to catch up. Either way, Will was cussing his daddy out, calling him all kind of bitch ass niggas and shit like that. Like, I was riding with Will. Like, yeah. Because what it was for me and Will, what it was for us, right, is when he tried to start putting shit on Will mama, like, we ain't finna do that now. Because you could have been here. Your ass didn't want to be here. You decided, it'd probably be better for me to just stay away. You know what I'm saying? His mama don't really fuck with me like that. Bitch, you could have reached out to my dog. So yeah, you a bitch ass nigga, and I'm glad Will said that to your face several times with the spit flying from his mouth to your nose. Like, only thing that Will did in this episode that I was like, okay, you wildin' now. He was taking this anger out on his family. It's a little bit too much. This whole, oh, I'm finna run away and, I guess sleep on the streets or whatever the case. I'm like, bruh, you tripping. Like, I understand being mad, nigga, but be mad in your room, like in the mansion. Have y'all seen the rooms on these fucking on this show for the Bel-Air Estates or the Bel-Air Manor or whatever the fuck the name of the house is? That's how big the house is. It got a name. Like, the rooms are fucking huge. Every time we walk into a room, it's like there's like a living room area and like a bed and it's a couch and sitting area, like 2 TVs. The motherfucking closet's so fucking big. There's an island in the middle for you to like put your clothes on when you when you getting dressed. Like, oh, let me see how this shit look. Let me throw it on the island real quick. Let it sit up there and put some shoes on there. All that, the island got drawers on it for jewelry and shit. Like, it's a big ass fucking rich nigga house. He's so mad. He talking about finna run away. He packing up his fucking book bag I'm like, boy, sit down in that big ass room and be mad. Like, why you gotta be mad on the street? Carlton was a real nigga though. They finally patched things up in a way that's probably gonna sustain throughout the rest of the series. He slipped some money in his pocket or whatever just in case Will got a little I don't know. Guess in case Will was just out there bumming it out for real. He got a couple stacks on him, or it wasn't stacks. It was like a couple hundreds rolled up into a little thing. But either way, you know what I'm saying? Carlton was looking out. Ashley, you know what I'm saying? I really like what they're doing with her character. She kind of like this little junior activist or whatever who is very, very sharp and quick with it. But she's a kid still, so she's still trying to figure herself out. I don't want to say it was like a lesbian like storyline that they gave her, the LGBTQ storyline they gave her, because she did say like straight out her mouth as the character on the show when Hillary was asking her about it, she said, you know what I'm saying, she liked this girl, she just don't know if she only likes girls and she's trying to figure it out. So there's either going to be like some kind of either pansexual or bisexual, because she likes girls and then boys have not been ruled out, and then neither have the other gender self-expression identities either. So we'll see what's going on with Ashley in season 2, but I'm really mostly intrigued with like Hillary's storyline because it's completely different from, well, not super completely different, but it's largely different from what we got in the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Like, Hillary is on this social media influencer wave. She's a social media influencer chef, and at the end of the season or whatever, we see her partner with Karuchi's character on the show, and they're gonna be doing some like big shit in the influencer space or whatever. It's all coming together in a very new age way, and I'm like really interested as an entrepreneur myself who is like trying to utilize social media and social influence to build my brand. I'm really excited for and intrigued in what, you know, they're gonna showcase with Hillary as far as how she's gonna build her brand up. Mind you, she coming into the show already with like hella followers and shit like that. Like, she has an established reputation on the internet as being a social media influencer, so she already got a leg up there, you know, while we catching her in the show. But I'm still interested to see her growth and how she's going to continue to climb, because when she first met Karuchi's character or whatever, she was looking at her like, oh, this girl is bigger than me, I just want to be next to her or whatever so I could like get some of her clout or whatever the case. Like, I want to study under her or whatever. And after having the conversation with Jazz was like, man, don't look at her as like somebody that you need to work up under in order to continue to grow. Look at her as somebody that you could partner with and stand beside so that you can grow. And that's when she came up with that fire idea. Karuchi's character, my bad, I haven't remembered the girl's name, but Karuchi's character was down for it, so I'm excited for that. I'm excited to see where it goes. Will and Lisa, on the other hand, they still on the rocks. My dog only, you know what? I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna say that because let's have some respect. After they have gotten to a new place in their relationship where they are a lot more trusting and open with one another, Willard decided that he, wanted to still lie a little bit, and that caused some turmoil. And, they're on the rocks. Hopefully they fix that, or get it back together, even though we know there's going to be other girls that come into the picture as far as Will is concerned. So, I mean, Lisa had a time on The Fresh Prince, and then Will spent time with other girls, and Lisa wasn't around anymore. So we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying? This is the new and improved Bel-Air. So I'm excited to see what happens next, because Tyra Banks had a character on The Fresh Prince that had a pretty significant relationship with Will Smith as well, or with Will on The Fresh Prince as well. So I don't know. We'll see what happens in season 2. Aunt Viv's getting back into her art shit. That was dope to see. I love watching people chase their dreams and do what they're passionate about. She's in a perfect position because she's rich now, and she's done the work, prior to becoming rich, to like establish a name within the community that has resonated for so long that people want her to come back into the space and really do what she was doing before. So I'm glad to see her doing that, even though I feel like Michael E. Lee's character, I don't know this man's name either. I keep forgetting these characters' names, but I feel like Michael E. Lee is going to try. He going to try it. But I don't know if Aunt Viv is going to fall. I don't know. He's giving like a little, you know what I'm saying? I'm enamored with your work, but then I'm also got a little lightweight crush on you. So, you know what I'm saying? Hide your kids, hide your wife, because I might pull up. I don't know. He giving this energy like he might try Aunt Viv, and we might see a little scene or two of her telling him, I'm married, we cannot be doing this, just stick to the work or whatever before I tell my husband. Some kind of shit. We'll see though. Speaking of Uncle Phil though, he had to give up his electoral race, saying, to protect his family, which stand up nigga, I rock with that. He's still rich. He still get to keep whatever job he got now. And, we know what happens via Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Another opportunity that's even better than the one he just gave up is going to come along, and we're going to see how he's going to navigate trying to get that. Jeffrey is gone, though. So we need my dog to come back. I need Uncle Phil to make that right. That need to be the first thing Uncle Phil do in season 2. I don't give a fuck about none of these political aspirations he got. None of that shit. Call Jeffrey and apologize and get him back in the goddamn house. That's what I need, because Jeffrey, the realest nigga on the show. The realest one. We need my dog back. That's it though for my Bel-Air season 1 finale and just overall season review. Also reviewing Bust Down on Peacock season 1. That shit was hilarious. It's only 6 episodes for the first season, so I don't really need to go much into it. But if you want to watch some dumb nigga shit, turn on your Peacock, go to Bust Down, and just watch them 6, 25 to 30 minute episodes. It's fucking hilarious. There was actually a story on social media just recently or whatever about somebody propping their dead homie up in the club or whatever. It's like his dying wish. There is an actual episode on Bust Down. I'm wondering, like, was this something that just recently happened, or they took the story idea from them and made an episode about them? Like, it can't be though, because this shit was produced and written and on Peacock way before this story happened. But there's an actual episode like that on Bust Down where somebody died and his wish was to be propped up in the club or whatever to let his people still fuck with him and dance and drink and turn up one last time as like his funeral or whatever. Hilarious show. There's a dude on there who get molested by some old gossiping ass church ladies who with holy oil. It's a funny fucking show. The show is hilarious. Definitely tune in. It's about a group of friends. They work at a what is it, casino in Gary, Indiana, of all places. And they just doing dumb nigga shit, being realistic about their life and their circumstances and where they are, and just trying to make the best of it. It's not a an aspirational story. It's not like Abbott Elementary or anything like that. It's literally just, dumb nigga shit. Something to watch, something you can 422 since I shouted that out early in the episode. Something you could just 422 and chill and just laugh at. It's nothing serious. It's not black people trying to show white people that we are not what they think we are, and we got so much X, Y, and Z over here. We're doing these amazing things. It's literally like, this is for niggas to laugh at. Kind of like, because Boondocks it did have like a satire element to it. It's not even a satire, bust down. It's literally just dumb nigga shit. Either way, tune in. Also, some black shit, Woke on Hulu. Season 2 just dropped or whatever. I already watched I think it was 8 episodes or whatever. Yeah, I think it was 8 episodes. Either way, really fuck with the show. I like season 2 better than season 1. Season 1 was like his awakening, where he realized, like, you know what? I am black and I can't just opt out of the struggle just because I don't want to be a part of, the black struggle. And I never really was accepted that much as a black person because I like to draw cartoons and shit. Like, he had his awakening. Now season 2 is him trying to figure out what he was going to do now that he's been put in a position to affect change within the community as far as what goes on with these corporations and stuff. There's a whole big like corporate plot. It's a dope show. I really fuck with it or whatever. It stars Lamorne Morris. You might remember him from things like New Girl. I think that's like his biggest role to date. And he had a role on Barbershop, The Next Cut, Jumanji, The Next Level with Kevin Hart, and yeah, he's been out here doing this thing for quite some time. You know his face when you see him or whatever, but he's the star of the show, and the show has been fired, at least in my opinion. I've enjoyed everything that's been happening with Woke and this whole agenda behind this corporation that his character ended up partnering up with. Like, I like the idea. It's just, yeah, you can't do that. You can't put the damn chips in the shoes and then be selling the data to the police. Like, that's fucked up. See, if that sounded a little bit interesting to you, check out Woke on Hulu. It's really good. I enjoyed the first and second season. But as of now, second season, really, really get my approval because, I don't know, I like what is happening. Like, this is, I think with like Woke and Bel-Air and shit like that, it's really starting to showcase how people or how black people are taking advantage of social media and their social presence or whatever to like build great things in the world that, make us look good and, affect some change or whatever. So I'm fucking with it. Tune in. Let's head on over to Continue Watching, which is basically where I talk about some things that are happening in these shows that drop on a weekly basis that have not concluded yet. Starting out with Proud Family, Louder and Prouder. Really, really, really enjoying this. Like, this shit makes my heart happy. It really does. Because Proud Family was like one of my favorite cartoons growing up as a kid. Disney Channel said, you know what? Let's give all of the nigga babies, no, not nigga babies. Let's give all the black kids, something to be proud of, something that they can identify with. They hit the nail on the head. They had Destiny's Child and fucking Solange, like, come on now, singing the goddamn intro. They gave us a classic intro that we'd never forget. This Proud Family reboot intro is cool or whatever, but they should have just asked Beyonce if they could use the original because it's fire, or at least remix the original. They should have let Solange remix the original, do a Texas, like chopped and screwed remix to the original Proud Family theme song, and that would have been fire to me. But the last episodes I can remember watching, because I remember all of them, but just for the sake of time and where we are, as far as the series is concerned, episode 9. Guest star Miss Tina, Beyonce and Solange's mama. Yes, she had a guest starring role on the show. Tiffany Haddish had a guest starring role prior to that in episode 8. I believe episode 7. Lizzo was the guest star. But yeah, episode 9, we saw Miss Tina on there, Eva Longoria, up and coming rapper Princess Nokia, as well as the legendary DJ Kid Capri. They all made guest appearances on episode 9. That shit was fire. We got to get a deeper look into La Cienaga's life and her family. If you know anything about the Proud family, then you know that the show pretty much follows Penny and her family or whatever, and we get like little glimpses of what the other kids in Penny's circle like go through with their family and shit like that. Well, episode 9 was dedicated to La Cienega Boulevardez and her family and shit like that, which is really dope to see them like delve into that, because they hadn't covered it, initially in the original Proud Family series. So that's dope. Episode 10, guest stars Glenn Turman, who you might remember from Cooley High and A Different World. And he was also on The Wire. Debbie Allen also, guest star episode 10. Debbie Allen, famed choreographer and actress and dancer, like probably the Beyonce of the dance and choreography world. Like Debbie Allen is that lady in the dance world. Lil Nas X also had a guest starring role in episode 10. Episode 10 was about Sugar Mama's side of the family. Like, we know that Sugar Mama is Oscar's mom and Uncle Bobby's mom, and she lives with, the Proud family and shit like that. But this particular episode, we got to see, Sugar Mama's lineage and, what's going on. Turns out she's from Oklahoma, and I guess a part of like this long legacy of black cowboys and cowgirls and shit like that. Like, it's been really dope watching this show and watching them like delve into the backstories of these characters who we've never really gotten to see in this light, via the original Proud family. It's even kind of giving a glimpse into why Sugar Mama favors Uncle Bobby over Oscar. And I think it has to do with Oscar reminding her a lot of her father, who they're not on good terms. Sugar Mama and her dad like don't fuck with each other. So she be taking that shit out on Oscar. But I don't know. It's been very, very interesting, very, very dope watching it. The jokes are fresh, but they still like give me that corny, like kind of Disney Channel vibe from way back in the day. Like, it's really, really dope. They fresh, new, and very much of today's culture. It's dope, man. I'm really I'm really interested to see what season 2 brings, because this episode 10 is going to be a 2-parter, and that's because it's going to close out season 1. But season 2 is already in production because you've already been renewed. They already posted on their Proud Family Instagram page that season 2 is in production. So I'm ready for that whenever they decide to drop it on Disney Plus, because like I said, I'm enjoying the fuck out of this show. It's been really, really fun catching up with Penny and the gang and Oscar and, Sugar Mama, Uncle Bobby, Trudy, even BB and CC. They talking now and walking and shit. Like, I don't know. It's dope just watching this shit happen. But yeah, Proud Family. Can't wait to continue watching that. Also, can't wait to continue watching motherfucking Moon Knight. I'm fucking with the show. I really, really enjoy with it. I've been seeing, some criticism about pacing as far as the show is concerned. Like before the first episode even premiered, back when all of the, nerd and blurred and geek outlets were writing up their reviews on the first 4 episodes that they got to, sneak preview that Marvel sent out to those specific outlets or whatever, everybody had to say, oh, the pacing and, we don't really understand what's going on. There's only 2 episodes left and we still like confused about everything and shit like that. Not me. I've really been enjoying it. I think what has like bothered people the most is Khonshu being like in prison, because episode 1 we learn about, Steven, his dissociative personality disorder, or was it DID, dissociative identity disorder. That's what it is. We learn about that or whatever, and we start to see how that's affecting him or whatever. Episode 2, Mark is the focus, and we get to understand what's going on with Khonshu, and the suit is summoned and everything. We get to see Mr. Knight, we get to see Moon Knight. Episode 3, they had that cool scene where they turn back the night sky to the night that, this specific event happened so they could find this tomb or whatever. Like, the show has been dope, but then at the end of episode 3, like, we lose Khonshu, which means no more Moon Knight suit. I think that's kind of throwing people for a loop. Like, damn, you know what I'm saying? We get to see all this cool shit happening or whatever, and then y'all take it away. And then now, we should have watched episode 4 by the time you hear this, but if you haven't, it's not really a spoiler. Episode 4, we don't get no Moon Knight suit. It's Steven and Mark and the girl on the show. I can't remember her name. Oh yes, Layla. Yeah, that's what Google says her name is on the show, and that's right. Yeah, it's Mark/Steven and Layla. They still, tracking down the tomb and all this other shit, and they find it and stuff like that. Like, it's very Indiana Jones on episode 4, but without Khonshu and the Moon Knight suit and all this other shit. But the way it ended was pretty dope. You know what I'm saying? Now I ain't gonna give too many spoilers away, but I like the way it ended. It's kind of flipping the series on its head now, and we finally gonna get to have some kind of reckoning, I guess, in episode 5 as to like what's actually going on. We'll see though. I'm assuming that they, or Disney or whatever, did this on purpose, like sent out these first 4 episodes knowing people was gonna be like, what the fuck is going on, just for episode 5 and 6 to be the best Moon Knight episodes and best Marvels the best Marvel Disney Plus shit ever dropped. So while everybody is tripping about the pacing and stuff like that, I'm excited. Marvel has not let me down. I'm gonna keep holding the faith and see what they do, because I really like what they're doing with this show and this character or whatever. I like that they're being clear about the fact that he does have this dissociative identity disorder, but they're not making it look like a sob story kind of shit like we normally see when people have defined mental disorders on TVs and film or whatever. They kind of make it to be like this sob story and make us feel for the character and everybody in their life that are receiving all kind of things, negatively from the impact of this one person having this, mental disorder or whatever the case. They're not really doing that. They're kind of making it, a little bit more positive and showing that even though he does have DID or whatever, like these different personalities, they really aid him in being the person he is. Because when Mark couldn't get the job done as far as this shit being like a brain kind of situation where you had to be intelligent to figure something out, Steven hopped in and he was able to decipher shit real quick. And then when it's time to whoop ass and serve up Khonshu's revenge, he jumped in that Mr. Knight suit, or not Mr. Knight. Mark jumped in his Moon Knight suit and was whipping ass. So it's like, I don't know. I get what they are doing. I definitely see the dissociative identity disorder thing happening within the character, but I like how they like making it, more of a superpower. Like it's more of his like thing that makes him special and makes it to where he can only do what he's doing. Because like I said, When it come time to fight, he's switching to the identity that know how to fight. When it come time to like solving some kind of puzzle, he's switching to the identity that can solve what kind of puzzles and shit. It's just dope how they portraying, and I'm really, really intrigued where the show is gonna go, especially with the way episode 4 ended or whatever. Like, what's really going on? So we'll see. Outside of that, the other show that I've been watching, I can't wait to continue to watch. I'm actually about to watch it as soon as I get done recording this. Motherfucking Atlanta, bruh. Donald Glover and his brother, because his brother is the co-head writer on the show with him. They doing an amazing job. I've been laughing my ass off, like for real, for LMAO at the shit that's been going on in this fucking show. Like the last episode where Paperboy had his phone stolen by somebody or whatever. I knew it. It was the motherfucking lunatic ass white boy Socks, whatever his name is, the one that almost said nigga in front of all these niggas. Yeah, I knew it was that white boy that took the motherfucking phone. I just don't understand why they didn't check him first. I was like, bro, we don't really know you. We know you because we came out here and you seem cool and you kind of showing us around, but like, we don't really know you. So why they didn't check this motherfucker first? He the one sitting in the corner talking about, what about this guy? What about this guy? Oh no, he knows something. Like, no nigga, you know something. I called that shit. As soon as I started seeing him act funny, I'm like, this nigga took the phone and he trying to deflect and put it on other people. Why Earn and Paperboy and fucking Darius didn't catch that? I'm like, I don't know. But it is what it is. The episode was funny, as well as the episode when Paperboy was playing fucking poker with the dudes in that like weird influencer house, like club kind of shit. And the dude ended up skating out on him with the money or whatever, and Darius start cutting down trees with the chainsaw because the trees was supposed to be the focal point of this artistic building or whatever. He said, I got y'all bitches. Y'all in love with these fucking trees. Y'all built the whole property around these trees and how beautiful they are. I'm chopping this shit down if I don't get my fucking money. That shit was hilarious. But then outside of that, these like one-off stories, like the story about the black kids who are being raised by the white lesbian couple who was like feeding them microwaved raw chicken and shit like that. Like that story was dope. The Lake Lanier situation was dope. The other story that happened about like white people being afraid that their ancestors might have owned slaves and that black people who are descendants of those slaves are going to be able to sue them and shit. Just basically everything we know white people are thinking when it comes to reparations, and how we not talking about none of that shit. It's actually just focused on the government. Like, yes, we know a bunch of white families owned a bunch of black families back in the day, and you know, slavery and shit like that, but our issue is really with the government and how they just been perpetuating this shit and constantly dressing up slavery as something else and selling it back to us. Like that's what we want the reparations from. We're not really trying to sue individual white families whose lineage denotes that they used to own our families. Like, yeah, but that's what these white people was thinking, and Atlanta showed that in the show or whatever. I really like how 1 minute, or not 1 minute, but one episode is about Earn and Paperboy and Darius and the gang and all that shit. And then the very next episode, they giving us some real life shit. Like I said, the kids with the white lesbian couple and the white people being scared of black people suing them for reparations. Like, I like how they just alternating this season. I don't want it to stay like that because I'm really, really interested in the story with Paperboy and Earn and Darius and all this. Like, I'm interested in the gang story, but I really do like these like one-off episodes or whatever where they're exploring a black topic in a very nuanced and open-minded way. I think it's dope. I really want to understand what's going on with Van though. Like, I understand at this point that, you know what I'm saying, she just kind of trying to find herself. She's taking a break from, you know, motherhood and stuff like that because Lottie is with her parents or whatever, and of course, Ern is out here with Paperboy trying to get this bag. So the kid's in a good spot or whatever. So she kind of giving herself a little bit of time and space for like vacation and finding herself and just some self-love and just chilling or whatever. But I just want to make sure like she's not like going through it mentally, like, because she being a little distant for what we know of Van. And on top of that, they in Europe. Like, I understand you want a vacation and, you know, just get away from the stresses of life and kind of have your time to yourself to decompress. And like, you don't want to hear from nobody. You just want to experience the world and enjoy, you know what I'm saying, this time that you have away from your real life. But y'all are in a whole nother country that you are not from. Like, at least just send a nigga a text message. You know what I'm saying? She hit my dog back with the thumbs up when he was like, bro, it's been a couple days and I ain't heard from you. Like, are you straight? Like, let me know something. You are the mother of my child. Like, I want to know you good. She hit him with the thumbs up. But oh no, it's not enough for me. I just want to know what's going on with Van. I want to make sure she's not straight. I want her and Ern or whoever she's going to have that conversation with. Maybe it's Darius. Maybe Darius can pull out what's going on with her. Because he did get a little farther than everybody else last time they had a conversation. Like just them two. So we'll see. But other than that, Atlanta has been fire. And I'm excited to see how the rest of this season plays out. But that is it for this particular episode of the Talk and Play Blurred cast. Next on my list, I still got Peacemaker. I gotta watch that. And I started the Batman, you know, starring Robert Pattinson and Zoe Kravitz or whatever. But that movie is 3 hours long, and I've only gotten through the first hour at time of recording. So maybe by the next, well, definitely by the next watch list, I'll have some more of my insight on it. But I'm enjoying it so far. I'll probably just do like a quick little review episode and drop it randomly somewhere in between these different blurred casts or whatever. Just a quick, the Batman blurred cast review or whatever. Stay tuned for that. Also, I'm going to check out Halo. I'm just having trouble because Paramount Plus has not really presented me with anything else that I'm interested in watching. I think they have that reboot of the game on there that I want to check out. But other than that, it's just them two shows. So I'm kind of holding off to see if I could watch all the other things I need to watch before checking it out, because I'm going to use this free trial for Paramount Plus and I'm going to binge the fuck out of it. But if, you know, I don't know, because I'm really interested in the Halo series and I really want to watch it. I've been hearing nothing but great things about the series. I really want to go ahead and get into it. And then I also, like I said, want to watch this reboot of the game. So I don't know, I might just buckle down and say, you know what, fuck it, let me just start my free trial now, pay the $5 a month or whatever the case might be so I can watch these other shows. But we'll see. Outside of that, Miss Marvel is coming to Disney Plus soon as well. I probably should have talked about that in the previews, but I feel like I did cover that trailer on the last watch list. Even if I didn't, the trailer is dope. I'm excited for Miss Marvel, even though she's not necessarily one of my favorite characters, like one that I'm actually like super interested in. It's Marvel, so I know the story is going to be good. It's going to connect to something else going on in the MCU, like the Marvels movie that's supposed to be coming out or something like that. So I'm excited to watch and see what they do. They switched up the way her powers look a little bit. I think I did cover this in the last watch list. Either way, it's coming soon. Can't wait to watch that. But yeah, that's it for this particular episode of the Talk and Play Blurred cast. This has been the watch list where we cover everything TV. You can hit me on the socials at BrianSapph. That's Brian Saff on Twitter and motherfucking Instagram. I also started a TikTok. I'm not going to be doing any dances on there, so I don't know. I guess I just wanted another space to post clips from the podcast. Quirk chat, you know what's going on. If you know, you know. If you don't, you don't. I don't know. I think that's it. But yeah, let's talk. Any TV shows that you think I should be paying attention to, please let me know. I'm down for TV. I love TV. I'll watch anything as long as the trailer catches me. So Send me some trailers if you think I should be watching some other shit or whatever. Just let me know. Send me some suggestions. I'm down. Comment section, DMs, your preference. Holla at me.